Hi guys, pRide here. Welcome back to the garage. Today we have got to a point where we need to intervene on the Suzuki. We have a situation where the bike is giving me problems. I do not know what is actually wrong, and what we're gonna do now is a bit of troubleshooting. More than that, we're just gonna check a few parts and see if there's something wrong with it. Problem I have is the bike has been rattling a bit. It seems that the problem is located in the gearbox slash clutch area. Reason I'm saying this is because when I am driving, when I'm riding the bike and I'm in low revs, low gear, especially when I'm starting from a still position, it does rattle quite loudly. Now, I do not have stock exhaust, so the noise from the exhaust might be covering the rattling whilst I'm at higher speeds. Nonetheless, I've tried to go at 20 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, holding the clutch in which case the noise coming from the exhaust is very limited, and I do not hear a massive noise from a massive rattling. Therefore, I assume that the problem has something to do with the transmission, because when that happens, when I start with first gear and I leave from a stop or a traffic light or anything, give it 1 meter, 2 meters, and the bike starts making really loud noise. I tried still in movement, whilst moving, trying second or third or fourth gear. It does do the same noise with a different intensity or frequency. So I haven't got much experience, but it sounds like there is a problem with the gears somehow. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open the clutch side, because although the problem feels like it's from the gear or a cog of some sort, it does sound like it's coming from the right hand side, which is where the clutch is located. So I'm just going to try and open that cover. Considering that I have recently opened the sprocket cover to clean it up a bit, and it might be worth taking a look at that as well. However, the noise was there before I did that job. It was just less acute, less intense. So yeah, this is, as I said, this is going to be a troubleshooting. I'm just going to try and look at different sides, different parts of the bike, and see if I can establish what the problem is. So bear with, I'm just going to set things up a bit, and then we start from there. Well, yeah, and by the way, let's hope we can find a solution, and let's hope it's not an expensive one. Right, catch up in a bit. Right, first thing we need to do is drain the oil, although it's quite fresh oil, in order to check the clutch. As this is not a dry clutch, it's a wet clutch, we need to check the oil. Now, that will also give us a hint as to whether there is a problem or not, as in if there was a problem with with the gear, with the transmission, one of the cases would be where the clutch or part of a clutch broke and a fragment of it jammed in between the cogs or in one of the cogs, which could as well be. However, if that was the case, we will see some residue in the oil, which I can't see, and then there was nothing on the plug, no metal residue, so we can assume that that is not where the problem lies. But as I said, it's an assumption, so we're gonna have to go ahead and check the clutch, inspect the clutch. So let's get stuck in, other side, and we're gonna get a clutch cover off. Right, as we are most likely going to reuse this oil, yeah, I just removed the drain pan from underneath the bike, just trying to reduce the opportunities and the chances for dirt and debris to fall in this. As I said, the oil looks quite clean considering it's rather fresh. And anyway, let's go onto the bike and get cracking with that. Right, clutch cover. As the inspection window is here, it clearly means that if you remove this, the oil will leak out, and that's why you have to drain the oil first, which we've done. Now to remove it, this is a 600cc engine, and the procedure is the same with 6 and 650s. What you need to do, you need to remove these fasteners, that one as well. They have different dimensions, different lengths. You need to remember which one is which one goes where, and you need to remove them in a crisscross pattern. So you will go with one top here, and then opposite, and then one next, and then opposite, and then one next, and there you go. So let's get cracking with that. Alpha turn is more than enough to start with. You can actually remove them by hand, but I'm gonna go ahead and undo them fully. What I like doing just for safekeeping is using containers, plastic containers. This is a cup from I think it's like a spray. This is just, you know, that sort of stuff. I'm using two because most likely there will be two different lengths. Right, let's measure these. So we'll call this number 1. That is a 25mm thread. Again 25, and yet another 25. So 225, 135, 225. And here's another 25 there as well. $25, you can't see, but trust me. These two are a bit special as they have a washer, sealing washer. Which should be removed. We do not have spare ones, so we're going to keep them as they are. And by the way, they are the same size, so we don't need to identify them. Gently. And there you go. Right, now we want to remove the pressure plate. To do that, we need to remove these 4 bolts. In order to be able to remove the bolts, we need to prevent the clutch from spinning. You can have a clutch holding tool, you can put the bike into gear and hold on to the rear brake. There's a lot of, or you can put like a bar, a wooden bar or a metal bar in between the the wheel and the swing arm. There are a few different options and we'll pick one of them. Alright, what we are doing here, foot on the brake, bike is in gear, and that should work. Quarter of a turn, crisscross pattern. Okay. Now you will see on YouTube videos of people that undo these bolts all the way without going for a crisscross pattern. It's your bike, you can do whatever you want with it. Manual recommends not to. It doesn't take ages to do it this way, so I don't see why you would want to risk to damage your own bike, but each to their own, right? Okay, now you can remove this pressure plate. You're gonna have this what's it called, thrust bearing, thrust washer. You're going to remove it together with the push rod. This is called push rod end piece, and a thrust washer. Put that aside. I'm just going to put them in the clutch cover. And now you have access to the discs, and you can inspect them. These are actually fairly new. Well, I would actually say not even just fairly, they are new. Alright, in this case, because the clutch is fairly new and these will remain as they are, we are just going to remove it all at once as a set. Now let's
one that got stuck. Okay, last one that got stuck will come off. Done. Okay, let's try this setup here. This is a clutch holding tool. Find them quite cheap on the internet. Braking bar, extension, and 27mm socket. And there you go. And washer. And now we can remove this. There's another washer here. Roller bearing. This is a sleeve that goes inside. Okay, equipped with a vernier caliper, we're going to check a few measurements to make sure we are within specs. I just quickly took note of the main specs that we are going to look for. One being the spring free length for this model is 47.6 millimeters. And we are .48. .8. 48. 47.6. Now it's not very easy to measure. But yeah, they're all there. Okay, so that's done. Now we're going to be looking at these. Now you can see yourself. You can see for yourself if you've ever seen a worn out clutch disc, friction plates, which are these, you know that is very different to that. Now, if you bear with for a minute, I should have something to give you an idea. Okay, this is a completely different bike. This comes from my Ducati. However, you can see, I just got something. You can see there how the plate has changed shape. Hopefully. You see, it's like this has been flattened here. It's a lot thicker than it is on the top there. That is because that is the action, actually should I say, of these hammering onto this side. Now on a Ducati that's got a dry clutch, this is where you the typical noise of Ducati's dry clutch comes from there, comes from the friction plates hammering onto the hub. And because there's no oil, and because the clutch is actually open, the noise reverberates and echoes, and you hear that rattling sort of noise, whereas in this case it doesn't. So the friction and the use of these plates is a lot lighter, is less intrusive, if you will, is less violent than on these ones. Hence why the difference. This is a lot lighter, this is pure, this is some sort of metal, whereas that one is not, it looks as though is carbon fiber or something like that. It's some sort of fiber, and it's got metal only in these teeth. Anyway, the clutch itself is good, it's practically new. So it doesn't need any, in my opinion, doesn't need any measuring of any sort. I'm just checking whether there is any missing lump or part. Indeed, there are a few teeth that are worn beyond, well, not worn, but it looks like they've just been, you see here more than anything. If I can find enough light, and if I can find the teeth now, must be able to see it here on that one, and then that one as well. Just like a missing bit there, one there, and there's a few here and there. It's nothing to worry about, honestly. Yeah, definitely this clutch is okay. There's absolutely nothing from this clutch that could have caused the issue. So clutch is good. What you want to check as well is these needle bearing. They're all in there. None of them is broken. They all move freely, so that as well is good to go. Bolts here are okay. So yeah, this clutch is officially good to go. We can put it back on the bike. Alright, we've got the inner thrust washer in place. Now we need to locate the clutch housing, making sure that these and that both engage, one here and the other one there. With the clutch housing, now we've got the middle thrust washer. This one is called clutch center. Okay. Then we've got the outer thrust washer. And then the dished washer. It's called dished because it's got a curvature. The inner side sticks out, and that part has to be facing out, like so. And then we've got the nut. Like so. Now we need to torque this nut up, so we're going to be using again this tool. Torque setting for it is 95 Newton meters. I'm going to start with 85. 90 and 95. Bring that one back to 0. Release clutch holding tool. And now we can put the plates, the clutch plates, back on the bike. Now before we install the pressure plate, just gonna check, inspect it to see if there is any crack or any sign of wear. Well, at least excessive wear, which we don't have.
can go ahead and install this. Okay, now they've all bottomed out, and we can go ahead and try and apply the 12 Newton meters. You'll see that the clutch will start moving before the torque wrench clicks. No, not really. There you go then. One clutch rebuilt. Now what we need to do now is to clean the mating surface from gasket residues, and then have a new gasket and apply some sealant on the edge here. Stick the new gasket, making sure it fits around the dowels, the pins, then put the cover and then torque it up. Problem being that I do not have a new gasket because I haven't ordered it, because this was quite of an emergency thing. Therefore I'm not going to be able to put the new gasket on. I will, however, put the cover just to make sure that the engine remains as clean as possible. Right, apart from the boring cleaning up job that I've got now left, this is now done, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure whether to be happy about it or not. I'm not sure this is a good news, and I'm talking about the fact that the problem wasn't with the clutch. I was just reading the Haynes manual, and it was saying, I'll give you an idea. Right. As I was saying, Haynes manual, you've got a fault finding section, and one chapter about it is abnormal engine noise. Another one is abnormal driveline noise. We've got clutch noise, transmission noise, which is what I think this is, and it gives you 4 options. Bearings worn also includes the possibility that the shafts are worn. Overhaul the transmission, which is quite a big job, especially because it means you have to open the engine. Gears worn or chipped, metal chips jammed in gear teeth, probably pieces from a broken clutch, gear or shift mechanism that were picked up in the gear by the gears. These will cause early bearing failure. Engine oil level too low causes a howl from transmission, also affects engine power and clutch operation. That is not the case, because just changed the oil and it was the level was okay. It was just probably a bit old, not even that old, because I think the whole bike has been serviced before it was sold, which was a few months ago, 6 months ago, so not a lot, not long ago. So we're left with, if it's driveline noise, we are left with bearings, gears, or worn, or metal chips jammed in gear teeth. which is the reason why I was checking the clutch, because that was the easiest to check. And if it was there, as they say, probably pieces from a broken clutch, then that would have been easy to establish without opening the crankcase. But because that is not the case, then what's left to do, if it's a transmission noise and if it's any of these to cause it, what's left to do is to open the engine. However, if that is an engine noise, and they give quite a specific array of types of noise, you've got either knocking or pinking, which could be caused by carbon buildup in combustion chamber, incorrect or poor quality fuel, spark plug heat range incorrect, or improper air fuel mixture. This is not the case. You've got piston slap or rattling, which could be caused by cylinder to piston clearance excessive, caused by improper assembly, connecting rod bent, which is not cool, piston pin or piston pin bow worn or seized from wear or lack of lubrication. Right, sorry guys, the battery just abandoned me. So where were we? Yeah, with the lubrication. Yeah, got that now. Piston rings worn, broken or sticking, and or piston seizure damage, or connecting rod upper or lower and clearance excessive. To be honest with you, reading this, it doesn't sound any of the above. It is much more likely to be a transmission noise. Yep. Right. Don't want to think about it now, so I'm going to wrap this up for the moment. Sorry, it was just a rubbish clutch removal and installation, nothing more than that. Yeah, I'm just gonna bolt the cover back up and probably gonna use the oil for some salad or anything. Can you imagine? Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching guys, and if you have any idea why this bike would do this noise, if you have any suggestion or anything, well, you know, I'm open to any sort of call. Yeah, for the moment, this is it. Rise and Pride. Thanks for watching. Ride safe and enjoy.